Israel in your actions, and do you not think that what you're doing reflects on Jewish people at the moment? With what's happening to Jews in Europe, do you not believe that your actions promoting hatred against Israel are contributing to attacks on Jews?
It's exactly the opposite. I think you're being really irresponsible.
Why?
By using the current attacks on Jews in Europe for political purposes to support the Zionist dream. And I think that's extraordinary that you're prepared to play with people's lives like that.
Well, what about your propaganda that you're proposing at the moment by handing out guns to students, mock guns to students, at a time of heightened tensions where Jews are being killed? Do you think that's responsible, what you're doing?
I think it's extraordinarily irresponsible what you're doing, trying to take political propaganda and use that from.
Why don't you answer my question? Why don't you answer my question? Your organisation's handing out mock guns. Your organisation is handing out mock guns.
I'll answer to you.
Why are you doing that?
I'll answer to you.
Well, answer my question. Do you think it's responsible when Jews are being killed in Europe that your organisation, War on Want, is handing out mock guns to students?
If you want me to answer, you need to stop speaking. You stop speaking? Good. What we do is we try to focus on the apartheid regime that Israel has imposed on Palestine. The denial of basic human rights to the Palestinian people, the construction of illegal settlements, the dispossession of the Palestinian people from their land.
You answer my question.
I am doing so.
Why are you handing out mock guns? Why are you handing out mock guns?
If you keep speaking, then I can't answer. And what we try to do is raise people's understanding of the sort of military oppression that the Palestinian people are facing under Israeli rule. That's what we're doing. It's important to recognise that the United Nations every single year has a series of resolutions condemning Israel.
So why don't you boycott other countries?
We did when it was.
What other countries are War on Want? What other countries are War on Want campaigning against? Israel is under security threat, which you don't recognise from Hamas. You don't say anything about the rockets Israel's under. So, irrespective of that, why aren't you boycotting Britain, America, France, all the other countries that have, in your view, things that you don't agree with? Why just Israel? Why the Jewish state? John, why the Jewish state only?
I can only answer when you finish speaking. So, if you look at what War on Want has done in the past, we have joined the boycott calls on other countries.
Which countries?
Particularly South Africa. Because when South Africa was imposing...
I'm not asking you South Africa, I'm talking about all the other countries in the world.
You're asking me a question, I'm giving you an answer.
You're giving me just one version, you're not answering my question.
I am answering your question.
You
said to me, which other countries has War on Want
besides South Africa? Besides South Africa. Besides South Africa.
I'm going to keep answering, and that's going to help. We were part of the international movement to boycott against South Africa because of its imposition of apartheid policies on the black people of South Africa. And the level of that intensity of oppression.
What other countries are you boycotting now? What other countries are you boycotting now?
Institutionalized racism.
What other countries are you boycotting? What other countries are you boycotting today?
There is apartheid.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Boycotting now.
Excuse me. Which other countries are you boycotting now? Which other countries are you boycotting now?
At the moment, we are part of the call, the international call for a boycott action against Israel.
Which other countries are you? Which other countries are you boycotting now?
We also run a series of other campaigns against other countries and
like
the
what?
policies that they.
Like what?
Morocco, for example, for its occupation.
Where's that campaign?
For its occupation of Western Sahara.
And are you handing out guns to do with that?
We
campaign?
have a whole range of different.
Do you honestly think it's responsible handing out mock guns? Do you think War on Want should be handing out mock guns to students at times of heightened tensions when Jews are getting gunned down on the streets of Europe?
I think it's irresponsible of you to try to make political capital out of the attacks that are taking place on Jewish people in Europe.
Do you think War on Want has nothing to do with spreading hate, lies and anti-Israel propaganda that comes back against the Jews of Britain, the Jews of France, the Jews of Belgium, the Jews of Denmark? You're denying any responsibility for your hatred and propaganda.
The state of Israel is the one which has full responsibility for its actions against the Palestinian people. It is the state of Israel which has imposed the policies of apartheid and oppression, and the Palestinian people who are being dispossessed in their own land. I think the more people get to know about that, the sooner
What's
we can
your
have
final
peace with
view on what
justice,
you want with Israel? What do you want to happen
we
to
would
Israel?
like to have peace with
What do you
justice.
want to happen to Israel eventually?
website?
What's your final conclusion for Israel?
If you
What's-
ask,
what is
then
it?
you leave the space, then I can answer.
Go on
Yeah,
then.
is that
Do
good?
you want Israel gone? Do you want
If
the
you
Jewish
ask-
state to disappear?
If you ask, then I can
Okay.
answer.
Do you
Yeah.
want the Jewish state to disappear? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Absolutely nothing to do with our campaign at all.
No, I'm asking you. Do you want the Jewish
I'm
state to
answering.
disappear?
If you keep asking, then leave me a space.
You're
then I
not
can
answering any
answer.
questions.
Oh, Morocco on your website.
It is on my
No,
website.
it's not.
And then my answer to you is this: we would like to see peace with justice.
I'm asking you, do you want the Jewish state to disappear?
You're
Does
asking-
Warren want
It has nothing
want
to,
the Jewish state to
absolutely
disappear?
nothing to do with our campaigns, the disappearance.
Then
of
why
the
is your
Jewish
attack on Zionism?
state. Because Zionism for us is what has crushed the Palestinian
What is
people.
Zionism? Zionism is self-determination of the Jewish people. That's all it is.
Zionism-
Why can't the Jewish people
And
have
it's
self-determination and the Palestinian people?
If you keep speaking, then I can't answer.
Well, I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, but then you have to stop, because then you leave a space and then I answer. Is that good?
Go on.
Okay. So our campaign on Palestine is for peace with justice. The Palestinian people.
Does that include a Jewish state?
The Palestinian
Does
people,
that include a Jewish state? Yes or no?
For us, we have no position on whether it's a one.
So it might not include a Jewish state
It's
for
a
you.
one-state
So
or
for
two-state.
you, it might not include a Jewish
It's
state.
not our choice, is it? It should be the choice of the people who.
I'm asking you, do you want to see a Jewish state?
It is nothing to do with.
John
me.
Hillary, do you want to see a Jewish state alongside a Palestinian state? Yes or no?
What we have said is it is up to the people of Palestine to choose.
I'm asking you.
Their future.
I'm asking you.
I'm giving you my
No,
answer.
but you're campaigning. You are directly campaigning. So what's your view? Should
Ask-
there be a Jewish state alongside a Palestinian state? Yes or no? What's your view?
Let me tell you.
What is your view?
No, I can only speak if you leave a gap. Have you got that now? I have said, and I completely repeat what I've said. For War on Want, we are not trying to impose.
So why are you campaigning
a vision
against
of the-
Israel?
You need to leave a space, my friend.
Why are you
because if
campaigning
keep
against
speaking-
Israel?
If you keep speaking and
Yeah,
don't leave a space
yes,
for the
but you're
response,
you're
then
not
you can't have the
answering. You're just
response.
coming out with standard lines. I'm asking you a question. Please answer, John.
I'm going to
Do
answer
you want
when
to see
stop.
the Jewish state living side by side with the Palestinian state? Does Warren want that? Yes or no?
War on Want has no position.
But you're campaigning
Hang
against
on,
Israel,
you need to
so
leave
you
the
have a
space, my
position.
friend. You
You're-
need to leave
but
the
it's
space.
rubbish you're saying you have no
need to
position.
leave the space for me to respond. Otherwise, it doesn't work in a conversation. Yeah.
You're
War
not
on Want-
answering.
War on Want has no position.
But you do. You're campaigning.
My friend, you need to leave a space to respond. Let's respond. War on Want has no position on whether or not it should be a one-state or a two-state solution or a completely different solution in the Middle East. That is nothing to do with us.
So
in the
there is
past,
an option of not being a Jewish state.
And in
In
the-
your view, there is an option of there not being a Jewish state.
And in the
Is that
past,
correct?
And in the past, when British people have tried to impose their solution on the Middle East, it has been uniformly a disaster.
And you're
So
trying
what
to do
we
that
would-
now. You're a British person
On the contrary.
campaigning against Israel, trying to impose a
I don't think
solution.
you were quite listening to what I've just
Well,
said.
answer the question.
We have
Do you want
no-
to see a Jewish state living side by side alongside a Palestinian state?
I can only
Would
say
you
it
like
so
to
many
see that?
times.
Yes or no?
I can only say it
Well, why
so-
can't you answer yes or
Answer
no?
the question,
I can
Nation.
Answer
Answer the
yes
question.
or no. Is this your position and Warren Want's position? You want to see a Jewish state alongside a Palestinian state? Yes or no? I'm not Jeremy Paxman here. You're not Michael Howard. Yes or no? Do you
you're-
want to see that? A Jewish state
When you
living
stop-
aside.
When you stop talking, then I'll
Okay.
start talking.
Can I have a yes or no?
When you stop talking,
Give me a
then I'll
yes or
start.
no.
I have already given you our answer.
What is it? Yes or no?
The answer is War on Want has no position on whether or not it should
But
be
you're
a one-state
campaigning
solution or a
against Israel.
two-state solution. Yeah, you've got that?
So that means
You've got
it
that, yeah?
could be the end of Israel for you. That
War
means
on Want has no
okay.
position
So
on
that means that could
because
be
what
the
we're
termination.
talking about
That
is
means
the human rights
okay.
of the Palestinian people.
Okay,
And
I
that's what
understand
we're
that, but in that
Good.
view, that could also mean the termination of the Jewish state, couldn't it be?
It's absolutely nothing to do with it. We should not be the ones here in Britain who are imposing any form of political settlement.
But that could be the end of a Jewish state in your view, couldn't it? What you're campaigning
I have
for.
no idea. What we're campaigning for is...
Just say yes or no.
What
It could be, couldn't it?
What we're campaigning
John,
for...
it could be, couldn't it?
What we're
That
campaigning
could be the end of the Jewish state, couldn't it? Say yes or no, because it could be, couldn't it?
When you finish speaking, I'll speak.
But just say yes or no, because it could be.
When you finish speaking, my friend, then I'll speak. Yeah? I'll say it once more. What happens in the Middle East is nothing to do with
You're
us.
importing
But-
a conflict into this country.
but-
You're importing a conflict into this country
My
which
friend,
you have
I
no
can't
right
speak.
to do,
I can't
and you're
speak when
handing
you're
out
speaking.
guns. War on Want is handing out mock guns to students on the streets of Britain, and you think that's responsible?
If you keep speaking, then I can't speak.
John, have you ever been to Israel?
I've been to Palestine, yes.
Have you been to Israel?
Yeah.
We're getting off the subject. Don't get off the subject.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 more minutes. I've got to get to work, yeah? I've got 2 more minutes.
Why are you so late to work as well? It's a charity and it's gone 10 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Quarter to or 10 to 10.
You have no idea about my working time. I've got a long, long night ahead of me tonight.
Well, you should really be here. You know, this is a charity. Where does all your money? How much of your money goes into the anti-Israel campaigns? How much of how much of the money you receive goes into the anti-Israel campaigns? All the money and time that your employees are spending against Israel and not against projects, in Africa, against malaria, against disease. Why are you concentrating on the Jewish state, not on proper charitable issues?
Do you want me to speak or do you want to speak?
Answer my question. Answer my question.
Okay, if you want to look at the accounts, they're fully published online. But the only last thing I'm going to say is this: War on Want has for many years stood with the Palestinian people against the oppression they face from the Israeli state. We will continue to do that. Yes, Paul Scholes is right. And we will continue to do that.
Do you support Hamas?
And we will continue
to do support Hamas? Does War on Want support Hamas?
Issues are...
So does War on Want support the bombing of Israel by Hamas?
We have absolutely no contact or no links with Hamas.
No, I'm asking you.
Answered, didn't I?
Does War on Want support... Does War on Want...
We have absolutely no links, support or contact with
Do you
support the people of Palestine?
Do you condemn the attacks on Israel by Hamas? Do you condemn the attack?
We have absolutely nothing.
But you can condemn the...
Now I'm going to have the last little word now, and then I'm going to go. So
do you condemn the attacks on Israel, on innocent Israelis? Well, do you condemn it or not? Does War on Want condemn it? You don't condemn it. You don't condemn the attacks by Hamas on Israel.
And the human rights violations of the Palestinian people. I hope that's enough.
You don't condemn the attacks on Israel by Hamas. You don't condemn the attacks on Israel by Hamas.